Am I wrong for breaking up with my boyfriend for having committed incest in the past? He knows I'm on Reddit often, so I really don't want to divulge too many details. Long story short, he confessed that before he met me, he had a year-long sexual and romantic relationship with a family member. Let's just say that they were close enough related it to be illegal in 90% of the states. I told him that I loved him, but I was not comfortable having a relationship with him. I told him that I'd still be his friend and we could still be in each other's lives, but I couldn't see myself marrying someone with his past. He was understanding at first, but then he was broken. He called me judgmental and cold hearted and said he thought I'd understand given his childhood traumas. I definitely do believe that those traumas led him to be comfortable with doing that, but I also think that he needs therapy. Truth be told, this to me proves that his brain works in a way I can't understand and that makes me feel unsafe. He's devastated because the one person he thought wouldn't ditch him like everyone else also ditched him. Partially, I do feel guilty about that, especially since he never told this secret to anyone else. But every time I think about it, I just can't see him as someone healthy and I fear for the future. Edit 1. I said illegal in 90% of the US states. This means it was not his cousin but someone closer. Edit 2. He claims that he was not groomed and that he made the moves on this family member. Edit 3. I now think he was groomed but doesn't know realize it as it was a family member over a decade older. I still think he needs therapy, but I may be able to look past what happened after all. So, what do you guys think? He probably was groomed. If he said that he had childhood traumas, he probably was groomed because unless he's some weird, crazy, insane person who in God's green earth is wanting to have a relationship, especially a romantic relationship with anybody that's close to them, and it's not a cousin. So what is it? A mom, a sister, a dad, a brother, a grandma, a grandpa, and if yeah, power dynamics like that, especially when children are traumatized children. I don't think this was like consensual, but what do you guys think? Am I the a-hole for telling my family they don't get a say on my child's name, and I do not want my child's name to blend in with theirs? My husband and I, both 25, are expecting a baby together. I'm having some trouble with my family over the name. Background: I don't share the same mom as my siblings. My parents had me and my mom chose my name. It's not your typical name. It's a nature name, which she also had, and isn't one of the common types like Lily or Rose, for example. My parents bickered over my name according to dad, and mom ended up choosing my first name while dad chose my middle name. My parents' marriage wasn't great, and by the time my mom died when I was 5, Dad had met my stepmom, Jane. For a while after my dad and Jane moved in together, they asked me if I would like to use my middle name, Claire, instead of my first name, Acacia. I didn't want to use my middle name, and Dad was a little upset, but they let it drop. Wait, Acacia is a beautiful name though, Acacia. My dad and Jane were more compatible with their naming preferences, and my siblings' names are more expected: Elizabeth, James, Hannah, Michael, etc. My name did get comments, and I would proudly tell people my mom named me. It wasn't easy for Jane to hear, and my family didn't love it. I love my family, but I always was proud of being named by my mom and never cared that I stood out. I never wanted to be more like them or blend in with them better. It was a connection to my mom that made me proud. When I was younger, I used to talk about carrying on with nature themed and more uncommon names when I had kids. Based off that, my family questioned when we told them I'm pregnant if we plan to do just that. We do, but we did not tell them that. We told them we would be discussing names and would announce after our baby was born. My family made suggestions. You guys, I can't pronounce that word correctly, so please do not. You guys are always writing things in the comment section about you need to pronounce things correctly. I am bilingual. I speak 2 languages, and English is my second language. And sometimes certain words, even though I look it up how to pronounce it, I know how to pronounce it in my head. I just can't say it the way it needs to be said. So please, I'm biased is another word. I always say based. You know what I mean. Anyways, my family made suggestions. Jane made suggestions that she thought were darling and would blend in so beautifully with the family. I told them we didn't need the names and asked them to please stop suggesting them. Talk of the baby shower and planning on that has brought this more to the focus for my family. They told me they feel we should take their thoughts on board, and my dad said I should consider not letting my baby's name stand out among theirs the way mine did. My siblings wanted me to consider Jane and how she would feel if I copy my mom's style and stay far away from hers when she has been raising me for years and hear me bask in the joy of people knowing my mom named me. I reached the end of my rope and told them all that they don't get a say on my baby's name, and that I don't want my child's name to blend in with theirs, that it doesn't matter the way they seem to think, and the way they make it sound is like telling me I have to choose between them and my mom, or more accurately, Jane and my mom. They told me I was callously dismissing their feelings and what this means to them, and what message I'm sending to others. They said I started it years ago by making it clear I wanted to name my kids like mom named me. Am I the a-hole? First of all, OP is not the a-hole. But what I want to say is, why is this entire family, starting with a stepmom, competing with a dead woman? Like, why are they competing with a dead woman? On top of that, this woman, OP, had a mom before Jane was married to this dad. And at the end of the day, like, just because you raised her doesn't mean that her biological mother who raised her for what? All those years needs to be erased. That's her mom at the end of the day. You're just a stepmom. And it's not like you're being disrespected. If my mom was to name me, and she was my mom for years, and she dies, and my dad marries another woman, and now this woman is upset that my mom, who existed before her, who literally gave birth to me, named me a name that she wanted. Do you guys, like, that's literally diabolical. I don't even know how to talk about it because it doesn't even make any sense. Am I the a-hole? 39 male for breaking up with my girlfriend for ruining my marriage proposal? A few weeks ago, I, 39 male, had plans on asking my girlfriend to marry me. Basically, the plan was to spend the day together doing things we both enjoyed, and then in the evening, I had booked a special dinner and stay at a place at Historical Inn. I had let the restaurant know my intentions and everything was set up and ready to go. We arrived in town for a train ride earlier in the day around 10 a.m. On this train ride, they served a few different drinks, wine, beer, or whatever. Since I'd planned on having a few later in the evening, I didn't have anything to drink at that time. During the entire ride, my girlfriend decided to have more than a few drinks. We've had some issues in the past regarding her drinking, urinating on my couch in her sleep, falling down drunk in front of my 4-year-old daughter, hiding alcohol while I smelled it on her. But I figured as long as it was under control, it will all be good. I'd be very patient and understanding for all those previous related issues. All of those are crazy, but okay. After the train ride, we decided to go for lunch, which resulted in more of her drinking, and this time me saying something telling her to take it easy. Well, that didn't happen. She just continued going. After that, we went back to the place we were staying, which was connected to the restaurant we were eating at. While in the room, she continued to drink. I did my best to be polite and remind her we still had dinners to eat and things to do, but that didn't seem to matter. Finally, we make it downstairs to dinner. At this point, I could tell she was feeling it. She again orders more alcohol, and as the waitress comes up to ask her what she wants, she mumbles something and her eyes start to shut. The slurred words kind of drunk. This continued to get worse throughout the dinner, and she could not even finish her food. As the servers came up to us, it just became more and more embarrassing. Finally, after not even being able to hold a conversation, I pretended I had to use the men's room and went to tell the waitress we were done. I walked out completely embarrassed and upset. I decided that after multiple alcohol-related instances, that this was the last one I'll be dealing with. I felt I'd given many chances and was very patient and understanding regarding her issues. After I broke up with her, she tells me it was always her plan to get help, go to therapy, and fix these issues. If I would have just stayed with her, this would have happened. Well, what happened to the multiple other issues stemming back almost 2 years? First, I'd heard anything like this. There was never anything brought up to me. At the point, I felt it was just too little, too late, and my patience had run thin. I'm wondering now if I did the right thing by calling it off, or if I should have known she was going to get therapy and seek help and I acted too soon. Again, none of that was mentioned to me until after the fact. Am I the a-hole for not giving this another chance and ending it after a ruined marriage proposal? I don't think Opie is wrong at all. She's a grown woman. She needs to get her life together. And if anything, it sounds like she has more things to worry about than a marriage right now, to be honest. So, yeah.